Right, I've got so much to talk about that I've lost my hair over it, so let's just jump straight in and start talking. Good day, Rascal Enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright. It's time for the 48-hour analysis. Just 2 days ago, we had the May 4 swipe. We had an interesting looking rust door, which you can see right there. And let's jump in and start discussing what's looking to be a perfectly fine investment and, well, are there any potential problems with some of these skins? Alright, so of course, I'm sure many of you are well aware with the brand new rust door rotations we get 24 hours later. I'll go on scmm.app, I'll look and see what the sales are like, I'll take a screenshot and I'll post it on my Twitter. Now, I was a little bit late to post this. By about a few hours, I forgot it was an early rust rotation. That's my fault, but don't worry. The sales we see here isn't going to be that much, it's not going to be that much different. Right, so we're going to make some comparisons to previous weeks. So, of course, with the last week, the top-selling skin was the Blackout Sap with 8,000 subscribers. Looking back over to here with our current rust door, Shadowborn Sheepman Double Door has 10,000. Now, that might sound very impressive and whatnot, but if I were to go back about a month, you know, April 4 swipe, Shadowborn Sheepman Door, the single door, after 24 hours of sales, that did 10,700 subscribers. Back over to here, with 27 hours, yeah, because of course I was late, we only have just about 10,000 for a Sheepman Double Door. Keep that in mind. We'll be discussing that a little bit more. Now, as I move over to the likes of here and whatnot, Chainmail headwrap, that did 8,500 subscribers. If we were to, you know, remove those 3 hours, maybe we could say maybe it's about 8,000 sales for the first 24 hours. We'll see, okay. But get a good look at all of that. Across the board, it's alright. We've got 11 skins right there. We're not going to probably see ridiculous sales for all of the skins, but we can still try our best to figure out where they're likely to end up at with their total quantities by Thursday. So that was the first 27 hours of sales. Let's now go over to here. Right, so we're just a little bit later than 48 hours. I know, sorry about that. But from what we can see here, it's not ridiculous, it's not crazy, and that's fine. We haven't seen ridiculous sales for quite some time over the past couple months, which is okay. I mean, the gold chains poncho is a bit funny. Well, I don't think we're seeing anything like that for a while, not until we probably really get into the likes of the summer. June, July, I think that's where we're going to start seeing casual 30,000 sales plus with certain skins again. Anyway, so with that, shall we jump in, go through all the skins, figure out what the quantities might end up at, and then, you know, what's the optimism? Are things looking okay? So let's get started with the likes of the Shadowborn Sheepman Double Door right there. 2 days in, 13,400 sales so far, bare minimum. So remember, subscribers equals the absolute bare minimum amount of people that have bought it, aka at least 13,426 individual people have bought that skin. We don't know how many they bought, but we know that's the amount of people that have bought it so far. And if we were to make a nice little comparison to the Sheepman Double Doors that we had earlier, well, 2 months ago, I was about to say earlier this year, but it's still kind of early this year, so yeah. Remember the likes of these? They came out during a 2-week period of time in February. Well, the funny thing is, all of them have actually risen up in price quite nicely, even with this appearing, yeah. I've seen the likes of the Space Airlock Double Door actually rise up in price. This did go down in price initially when it appeared. It went back up, now it's gone back down again. I think some more people have listed there, so this did go back up to $5 at one point, but yeah, it's gone back down. This has just been super comfortable ever since it came out back in Valentine's, and this was supposed to be a Valentine's skin, but it was accepted a couple of days later regardless. That was strange, but yeah, that's doing perfectly fine, doubled in price from what it was. So that's okay, that's looking optimistic. And of course, when I did my rust rotation video, I pointed out every single Sheepman Double Door that's marketable is in the positive right now. Very, very nice to see. But here's a little thing that I just want to kind of warn you about. You don't need to rush into buying that immediately. Let's wait and see what happens on the likes of the Rust Workshop, alright? I can't help but assume we're probably going to see a lot more people probably producing some Sheepman Double Doors again. And if we end up going through another scenario where we have like 4 skins being accepted in a single month, let alone 2 weeks, yeah, we might have some trouble. However, I've got to show you this as well. The Shadowborn Deplorable Collection is looking pretty sweet. Look at that. It's all in the green now. That's awesome. Now, the armoured door is actually doing very nicely, but not everybody who bought it currently has the ability to sell it. Let's see what that looks like after a week or two. But as of now, that is looking very, very nice. And as we get closer and closer to the summertime now, things are only looking better. So, with that, what is my outlook for the likes of this Sheepman Double Door? Based on what I'm currently seeing, I want to quickly hop back over to here and just quickly remind you that, well, Shadowborn sheet metal single door sold more after the first 24 hours of sales. Well, and I mean, that one was 27. But anyway, back over to here. We know where that ended up at. So let's just quickly remind ourselves, how many sales did the sheet metal door have? 20,000. All right? 20,000. And I did also make a little comparison to the likes of the Blackout Sap from the previous week. That had 8,000 sales bare minimum after the first 24 hours, and it ended up with just about 18,000 subscribers. Now, there's probably a fair bit more in circulation. SMM can only see so many accounts. But the point is, it honestly looks like this is only going to do around maybe 20,000 sales, which is totally fine. With what we saw with the previous sheet metal double doors right here, we've had the likes of Space Airlock double door, sold for $2.49, currently selling for $4. That did quite literally 21,000 bare minimum sales, or to be more specific, 20,982. But that doesn't matter. Long double door, sold for $2.49, currently selling for $4.50. It had almost 39,000 bare minimum sales. So I don't think we have to worry too much in regards to how many sales it's going to have, but the more interesting it is going to be for, you know, being a nice investment and whatnot. But at the current rate, I do look at this and assume I think it's going to end up between 18 to 20,000 sales. And that's fine. That's okay. So, honestly, I'm looking pretty optimistic with that. I really am. I don't know if we're going to be seeing a lot more sheet metal double doors being accepted over the course of the rest of this year, but we have had quite a lot compared to previous years. Let's just quickly get that point across. So with like last year, we only had 2 marketable ones, and I think the year before that we only had 3. As of now, we've got 5 this year. Last year, I'm correct, with the deep sea double door and the bombshell double door. Year before that, we had cobalt container, constellations and storage. And the year before that, we had 5 there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. And they're all doing all right at the moment. Okay, so if we kind of keep it at that, if we don't see any more sheet metal double doors, I think we're going to be all right. But I lean more to, I believe this is going to be totally fine. And I can't help but assume people will be ever so appreciative of this collection as we go through the likes of the summer. It's going to be summer vacation soon in the Americas. And, well, there's going to be a lot of kids returning to play the game. We're going to maybe have some more gunplay changes. I do believe we'll be having some interesting Twitch event taking place where we're going to have a whole bunch of Twitch drops, maybe around June time. So I think Face Punch is really going to be putting an effort into getting people to look at Rust and wanting to play Rust, and we'll, you know, evidently we'll have a lot of people playing. And of course, with more people playing, you can look at the likes of the Rust skins and assume they're only going to do better. And a solid collection such as this, I can't help but assume it's going to get a lot more fans. So I'm optimistic for its future. Sheet metal double door, I honestly do believe I'll be doing a strong barge in it, and I wouldn't be surprised if I end up making some purchases as well. I didn't buy enough Blackout Saps last week. I saw the Barter support when we did the Abnormal Barders, you know, last Wednesday. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go buy some. I bought 100, and I was like, I can't order by more, but I want to just wait and see what it looks like the next day. But of course, the Rust rotation was very early, so I missed out on buying some more. I bought 100. I'm not going to be upset with that. Just, I'm going to be annoyed if it goes up in price a whole lot more as time goes on. So, another week where we have a very solid looking option to actually make a purchase on. Let's see if that you know, works out nicely over the course of the next few days, and keep an eye on the total sales, or rather the subscriber count. So as of now, that's looking sweet. That's looking awesome. I can't complain. And if you want to go buy some for yourself right about now, by all means go for it. It's a lovely looking skin. And having spoken to Mr. Vase, he is optimistic in doing some more. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a double armoured door at some point on the horizon. He's going to go for it. And you never know, maybe he's going to be the one who gets the double armoured door skin being accepted this year. If you aren't fully well aware, we only get like 1 accepted a year. So let's see if the Shadowborn collection can grow. Will we see the likes of a furnace, maybe a rug, maybe a small box? There's plenty more things that could be coming out. We'll just have to wait and see. Right then, let's move on to the next skin. I'm aware that I accidentally didn't talk about the Chainmail head wrap in my predictions video. My apologies. But looking at its current sales at the moment, I was a little bit optimistic, thinking this is going to end up very close to the likes of the Chainmail Poncho's total sales. But I'm getting a little bit cautious. You know, right now it's got 11,241. But you never know. Maybe everybody who cared about it, you know, has already bought it. and maybe it'll slow down and probably maybe just be a fair bit short or literally match up to the bare minimum sales that the Chainmail Poncho has. At the end of the day, the combination of both of this does look very nice. So if I go to the workshop and just show this off to you, I mean, I can see a lot of people liking that, and it's not very expensive, is it? It's very approachable. So yeah, as a nice, goofy, primitive, but pairing, I think that'll be appreciated. I reckon it's not going to go up in price insanely, but don't you think we might be seeing some more continuations of this? Don't you think we might see, like, some chainmail burlap clothing? Or some hide clothing? Boots? Gloves? We'll see. The only way we can, keep an eye on the likes of that is, of course, keep an eye on the workshop. If I quickly refresh, has anything else appeared yet? Oh, no. But keep an eye on this on the likes of the Sunday and the Monday and see what Legacy produces then, because I can see it working out well. We just got to see if there's definitely going to be continuations. And, of course, we've got to read into the comments and see if anyone's asked. And has anyone asked? Wait, can I actually read? No, I can't read that. Wait, Google Translate. Okay. Okay, no, yeah, okay, right, well, don't think we can see anything in regards to that. Also, real quickly, I can also point out to you, if you don't want to get yourself set up with like a full door facility like I do, you can always just look at micro522.com, just look at dates submitted, and voila, you can see all the newest submissions. It's so easy. So I'll link that in the description of this video as well if you want to keep an eye on the likes of that website. But with the current rate of sales that we see here, I can kind of also see this, selling more than the Poncho. But so as long as it's only like maybe just a couple thousand more, it wouldn't like be that detrimental. And then again, I should also bring up the likes of the burlap head wraps. We don't get many of them. And, well, yeah, the last time we just had like some random ones like that, kind of didn't end up very well for them. But then with the likes of the Arctic Protection burlap head wrap with a full collection, a full primitive set it has, that's worked out ever so nicely. But that's camouflage. That's not camouflage. So as I said, I can't help but assume Chainmail head wrap and its poncho will probably do a very good job in retaining their value as time goes on, because it looks unique compared to everything else. But I just don't really see it going super crazy in the future. We shall see. I mean, let's keep an eye on the sales. Let's keep an eye on the likes of the Rust Workshop. And, well, maybe we'll see something interesting being produced, and maybe we'll consider offering a higher price. But, yeah, you've also got to question yourself, how often are you even making a burlap head wrap? Oh, yeah. Poncho, sure, I can see it happening. But the burlap head wrap? Yeah. You're probably going to make like a mask or something, aren't you? Which one do you have? Do you have the ox mask or the dragon mask or anything? I don't know, but like, yeah, I don't think many people are rushing to make the likes of a burlap head wrap. But, for all players wanting to dress up like a knight and whatnot, it looks goofy and it looks silly, and I'm pretty sure people will be appreciating it to a point. Will it retain its price of 99 cents? And shut up, phone. Overall, again, smarter thing to do is just wait until Wednesday, look at the sales, look and see if we had a continuation, and we'll just work from that. So shall we move on to the likes of the Constructed Thompson? Okay, so, Constructed Thompson, someone immediately brought this up. He said, Hedge, we don't actually get many white Thompsons, do we? And I was like, okay, I can see that. I mean, there is still a lot of black and yellow, but from a distance you might only notice the white. Right, let's just quickly make a quick look at the likes of all the other Thompsons that have come out over the past few years and count how many of them are white. So, first up, what do we have? We have the likes of... what do we have? We have No Mercy. Let's click you. Don't go to SCM.com. Please go to the Steam market. Thank you. All right, that's working. And then we got Glory Thompson. So we got 3 other options you could probably pick from. Over to here, we have the likes of the No Mercy Thompson, currently selling at just a little bit below $4. Over to here, we have the Doodle Thompson, which is currently selling for just about $3. Oh, yeah. And then over to here, we have the Glory Thompson, and that is currently selling well above $10. It's currently sitting at 14. So yeah, okay, I could see some interesting potential developments if people are looking for a much more affordable white Thompson. But is it white enough? Is that enough to be a nice sale to you? Like, is that going to be keeping interest amongst people? as I said, literally just the past week we had the Bombshell Thompson, and that only did 11,135 subscribers, compared to many other Thompsons we had in the past. Well, if I just quickly show you this, if we look by subscriber counts, or we'll start off with lowest, you can see it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle. Right, so that's now started to go below its Rust All price. There's hardly any listings on the Steam market. I'm looking at this not as a, alternative white option, but more specifically a Thompson skin that's literally just come out. Are you feeling confident that our brand new Thompson is going to do better than this, or potentially end up, behaving the exact same way? Because you've also got to consider this. Maybe half the reason why this is losing value is because another Thompson literally just appeared. Do you think we'll probably see another Thompson potentially in the near future? I'm going to sit here and say I wouldn't be surprised. And again, do you remember last year? So if we go look at last year, we had 17 skins. We also had quite a lot of Twitch drops, which is quite surprising. But if you can consider this, how many AK47s and SARs have we had from Twitch drops in the past? Well, I'm pretty sure those content creators are going to want to get a different weapon. So maybe we'll see some more Thompsons again and again and again. But you get the idea. Last year we got quite a lot of Thompsons, more than what we'd normally see within a year. And at the current rate that we're looking at the amount of acceptances, we're already on pace to match up to last year. Last year, yep, from the beginning of May, we had 4 skins. This year, the exact same position. There could still be so much more. So please keep that in consideration, all right? I'm sorry if it sounds a bit pessimistic, but Thompsons used to be very, very, very reliable investments. Now, not so much. And I'm just warning you of all the potential problems. So, we've had some changes recently to the likes of custom SMGs, SAPs, and of course the LR300s. And well, do you reckon the custom SMG will start to be liked a whole lot more compared to the Thompson? I don't think so, but we did have an aim cone change to this about half a year ago, and since then it's contributed to it not being liked as much, and the skins have suffered. It hasn't been pretty. But at the current rate of sales we're looking at this at the moment, I can't help but assume it's going to probably do about 14 to 15,000 sales. Subscribers, I should say. So that would be the bare minimum sales. Now, if you truly believe that would be totally fine from here on now, okay, that's cool. But will this potentially turn into a collection? Has anyone asked? And he says, I'll try. Was that him? Was that someone asking for more? Was that one asking for more? I don't see anyone actually directly asking him, but look, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into a collection. So, stay optimistic. You'll probably see an AK or an LR300 or maybe a SAR or something being produced soon. But weapon-only collections don't exactly work out very well most of the time. We shall see. But I think it'll sell decently. I think it'll do okay in terms of retaining its value. But I am a bit cautious about potential other acceptances maybe within the next month or so. So just keep an eye on the likes of the workshop, and, well, we'll see. Alright, shall we move on to the next skin? Right then, we have the likes of the sheet metal base box. Now, we can directly make comparisons to the previous instances, and, well, both of them actually bounce back up. Okay, fair enough, that's fine. Alright, so I've had a bit of a worry ever since I saw the whole collection starting to develop. And my point was, will these 4 potential box skins, yes, because we're expecting a wooden one, aren't we? We're probably going to see that being resubmitted this weekend. Will they be graciously helping each other out, being a lovely collection amongst each other, or will they be fighting for your attention, meaning that they all potentially end up as bad investments? So, let's just kind of visualize this a little bit better. They're all the same item. How much of an effort are you going to be putting in to make sure that with all your small boxes, they're all going to be different skins? Now, also consider this. Think like a general player. Are they going to be going through the effort and wanting to skin all of them separately as a different design? I don't think everybody's going to want to be doing that. They'll probably just have one that they like more compared to the others, and then they'll just focus doing that. Okay, alright, so what could that lead to? As I said, so it'd be like a sibling rivalry, and, well, one of them might be the favourite child, and all of the other ones might be neglected. Therefore, they might end up all potentially pretty down bad in terms of their prices. Now, by default, with the likes of small boxes, as we go over to here, across the board, the majority of them aren't doing super great. Hypergena's actually had a bit of a turnaround. That's nice to see, but last year, The amount that we had accepted, I don't think... Oh, okay, Frogbox is in the positive, but all the other ones, looking very good. What about last year before that? Yeah, it's still kind of the same thing, more in the negative compared to the positive. So, looking at the state of these at the moment, it's nice to see, but let's also take a look at the small boxes on the Steam market. So this only has 32 listings, alright? Just to point out, on average, most Ruskins on the Steam market have about 100 quantity. So to see this with only 32, that's very surprising. But I'm also not surprised to see that the prices are done right, because it's not like there's an abundance of quantity that's going to, potentially, showing signs of people competing with each other, trying to make a sale and whatnot. That's looking fairly stable, especially with the bars that you see to the side. Over to here, the likes of the high-quality metal base box. This was a more recent skin in a Rust store. Very strangely, this sold quite a lot less compared to the stone box, and yet it has more quantity. Yeah, that's a bit odd. Right, but anyway, bilders, yep, they're starting to rise up here as well. So I'm under the impression now, I have to look at this in a more positive light. These base boxes are actually getting more interest and more demand. Their prices are looking a whole lot more stable. I'm actually under the impression now that the sheet metal base box very likely will have a very nice future ahead of it. Right, so... where do I reckon this is going to end up in terms of its total sales? I feel like we're in the exact same position where the high quality metal base box was. In fact, if I quickly go back over to here, so this had, let's say about 6,500 subscribers, because of course it was a little bit late. If I compare to, well, I might have to go back a fair bit, so if I can quickly go back 2 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, there you are. I've got it. It's right there. After the first 24 hours of sales, the high quality metal base box had about 6,500 subscribers. It honestly really does look like we're going to end up around the same position as, well, where the high quality metal base box ended up at. And where was that? About 13 to 14,000 sales. Yeah, 14,000 sales, yeah. So looking at this, I am looking at it and expecting it's going to do 13 to 14,000 total sales. That's totally fine. Matches up perfectly with the other high quality metal base box. Stone base still has so much more, but it's still healthy. It's probably had the nice boost based on the fact that, 2 boxes have appeared after it, and, well, the collection clearly seems to be working out quite nicely. So I'm more optimistic for that set now. I was worried initially, thinking that they're all going to be competing with each other, but it doesn't seem to be happening. But please be warned, things are looking nice now, because most skins are improving right now in terms of their prices. Be prepared for the likes of the autumn-fall seasonal dip. Things could easily turn around and go down south very quickly, literally when the 2nd September appears. I'm very sorry to say it, but we have to be cautious about certain things. But then again, with the sheer lack of listings on the Steam market, I'm not too worried about that, but you got to always be a little bit cautious. Sounds good? Right, let's move on to the next thing. Moonguard Door. Right, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some resubmissions of these other deplorable skins that the likes of Papa Carl and Mr. Universe Kid produced, because number one, they look really cool, and well, I'm pretty sure Face Punch would be a lot more invested into the likes of this set now. So, we've seen the likes of a cool looking owl furnace, we've seen the very cool looking, scary looking owl at night on the garage door. So, maybe we'll see a completely different deplorable being produced over the course of this weekend. Maybe we'll return to those at some point. But this sheet metal door right here, it looks really cool. That is an awesome looking design. And well, congratulations you two on getting your first ever skins accepted. Did anybody question, hey, are you going to produce any more? And the answer is no, no one's actually asked. So it's nice to see that newer people getting their skins accepted, and some interesting creativities potentially in the horizon, especially with the likes of that door there. But sheet metal doors as investments. Here we go. We literally have had, how many sheet metal doors over the past year? 2024. Well, we're in week 18 now? Week 17 or 18? We've had 15 doors accepted. Look at all the doors. Only the Shadowborn's in the positive at the moment. Yeah, okay, that's a bit of a problem, but it's not like out of the ordinary. Last year, how many sheet metal doors did we have in total? 30. The year before that, how many did we have in total? 28. We're expecting so much more in terms of sheet metal doors that please be warned. Whilst this looks very nice and very cool at the moment, something else will appear potentially next week, and a week after that, and a week after that, and a week after that. It was only a good month back that we were, screaming about that Shadowborn sheet metal door, and we thought, yeah, that's going to do amazing. Well, I guess we could have said the same thing in regards to the blocky lighthouse door. I was fairly optimistic for the 2 mini octopus metal door. But by default, sheet metal doors, not very nice investments. Now, some of these skins could have a very nice healthy turnaround as we approach the likes of the summertime. I've been very positive about that, haven't I? But like I said, once we hit around the autumn-fall seasonal dip, September, October, November, you're going to see all of these in the negative, and you're not going to enjoy the prices they end up at. So let me just get this across. A $2.49 sheet metal door that looks pretty cool. I've seen that before. I've seen a whole trend of that last year. From the likes of the sunken door for the Abyss update back in July of 2023, we kept seeing $2.49 doors coming out over the course of like the next 2 months from there, and now they've all ended up very badly in the negative. All right? Please take that into consideration. Just because it's at a nice higher price and it looks very cool doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to work out quite all right. Now look at me, listen. I'm looking at this with a financial perspective, right? I'm questioning if I want to buy 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 100 skins as a potential investment, hoping to make a good profit in the future, right? But if you like the skin, if you want to show some appreciation, consider buying it, you know? Buy it, enjoy it, you know? Keep those skin creators nice and motivated. Keep wanting to put out nice, creative ideas out in the future in the workshop. But it's a sheet metal door, and I am not super motivated for another sheet metal door investment. But I will sit here and say this: based on the sales that we currently have, I think we'll probably get to around 13,000 sales by next Thursday. But, you know, if you make comparisons to the many other sheet metal doors that we had, earlier this year, I mean, that number's fairly average, and even then, with the amount of doors we've had, yeah, it's still probably not going to work out very well. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. But at the end of the day, keep an eye out in the workshop, see if we do get continuations. Let's move on to the next skin. The Lei Poncho. Right, so, have you got your coconut underwear with your lovely Lei Poncho, and you're just chilling, relaxing, and enjoying yourself? So this hasn't sold anywhere close to the likes of the golden poncho, golden chains poncho, which is fine, you know. So please consider this. With the sales that this is having, it's probably only going to do maybe 10, 11,000 subscribers by Thursday. Maybe it has a few more, we shall see. But it's still potentially going to have the same problems as the Golden Chains Poncho. As I said, when you look at it at certain angles and whatnot, you're going to see through it. It's going to be invisible and whatnot. But overall, personally, I'm sorry, but I will say as a personal opinion, it does look a whole lot more appealing, especially for like a casual, fun, goofy skin. Gold Chains Poncho it's still like perfectly fine for what it is, but yeah, it's definitely going to get to a point now where I really don't think people are going to be tricked into assuming, how is that not a poncho? I thought I've been fooled. No, I just don't think that's going to really be a thing, because we did talk about the deceptiveness of the likes of the Golden Chains Poncho. But I don't think that's going to really matter. Anyway, Gold Chains Poncho did, 27,000 bare minimum sales subscribers, and as you can see here, with 128 quantity on the Steam market, it's currently sitting there at $3. However, we're starting to see build-up of big fat quantities. Do you reckon that's still going to hold? Yes, it still has the support. It's still looking pretty okay. We are seeing continuations appear for the likes of this in the Steam market, which I'll prove to you over here. There could have been a burlap head wrap this week, but nope, we got the likes of the Chainmail head wrap instead. That's got support. That's doing okay. Can we assume the same thing could happen to the likes of the Lei Poncho? So just to point out, I do believe this was Sky Noise's first ever skin to be accepted, along with his friend. I can't pronounce his name. I'm very sorry. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a continuation for this. What will it be? I think I made jokes about we could maybe see like a Hawaiian shirt or something. It would pair up very nicely with that, wouldn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. You know, some shorts, a t-shirt. That would work. I'm just saying. Oh, maybe something else. But, you know, you do have the general skins for the coconut stuff and whatnot. At the end of the day, we've seen some goofy looking ponchos recently, but don't assume ponchos are going to be perfectly fine investments. It's just, you know, one quick look at all of the recent ponchos we've had over the past 2 years, you can definitely question things. Yes, you can. So we'll wait and see, you know. Will it actually reach up to about 11,000, 12,000 sales? We'll have to wait till Wednesday. That's abnormal, all right? We've got a lot of skins here that are abnormal that we can use that time to our advantage. Remember, it's always smarter to look at the abnormal borders first before you consider making a purchase, more specifically with the likes of abnormal skins. So, with the likes of that, hey, I'm optimistic for it. I want to see continuations for it. We've got to keep an eye on the workshop. So that, we'll move on to the next skin. Right, Black Diamond Custom SMG. There were buffs put in for the likes of the Custom SMG this past Thursday with the update. Is it enough? Have Custom SMGs, starts to get some appreciation? Well, we haven't seen anything yet in terms of any changes. But I've also got to kind of point out the likes of the LR300 to a point. LR300s have noticeably been getting a lot of interest. We will be talking about that a lot more, don't you worry. But I don't think Custom SMG has really... I'm still not 100% convinced this is going to be okay. Now, if we look at the other Black Diamond skins, you can see where the LR300's doing all right. We'll talk more about that in a bit. AK, still kind of not exactly doing super great, not exactly doing terrible. Down 12% isn't necessarily a terrible thing. But as a whole, this is still only a weapon-only collection. And, another weapon's been accepted. Surely the other skins will go up in price, right? No, doesn't really happen with weapon-only collections. Maybe we'll see some clothing and armor at some point in the future. I could see that. Black Gold was pretty much the exact same thing, and then it ends up getting clothing and armor. But that might not happen for at least quite a while, right? I'm pretty sure Bad Trip himself realises the likes of Legacy Kevlar was still fairly too recent, so maybe he'll wait on that a little bit longer. Anyway, with the likes of that Custom SMG, by default, I have to consider how I would approach, custom SMGs from before, and, well, I'm sorry to say, but I can't help but assume that might potentially go down by about half price. Why do you say that? We'll go look at all the other custom SMGs. We're very optimistic for the likes of the Thundergold custom SMG. If I were to quickly take a look at the likes of that, you only have 28 quantity on the Steam market, and yet you have quite a lot of listings below that $2.49 price you sold for. It is what it is, I'm afraid. And then you look at the likes of the SMG Nana, you look at the likes of the Chameleon SMG, they're all around almost half off. And then you go further back, you look at many of the other ones, yeah. Well, I will sit here and say this, I'm seeing a lot of them now not being below $1. That is actually a bit of an improvement. So maybe custom SMGs are improving, but maybe it's still not enough for them to retain their value. So that's still probably going to take a while for people to really notice. Looking at the Black Diamond Custom SMG, I think I will be sticking with doing a barter instead of making a purchase. But by all means, if you like it and you want one for yourself, you can consider buying it, alright? Pretty sure Bad Trip will be putting out even more very cool looking Black Diamond skins in the future. So yeah, stay optimistic, keep an eye on the workshop, you get the whole idea. Alright, so let's move on to Bullseye LR300. Oh, actually no, I didn't say. How many sales is that probably going to have? Looking at the state of it at the moment, it's going to probably do 10 to 11,000 total sales. Now we can move on to the Bullseye LR300. Right, so you're not selling that much, but you're a perfectly fine LR300. So get a quick look at the aim sight and whatnot. That would be good for most environments. Maybe some of the greener grassy areas might be a bit of a problem. But that's a very nice bright-ish pea green. I still feel like that would be perfectly fine for all the environments. So, yep, congratulations to Mr. GXT Face. I'm wondering what new colours we're going to get for the Bullseye collection, because initially it started off with a pinkish red. Then we turned to, of course, a pea green, but after 2 acceptances of the red ones, he changed colour. After 2 acceptances of these, will he change colour again? Mr. GXT Face, are we going to see the colour blue or purple or orange? Tell me. Right, so back over to here. Looking at the state of that, that's totally fine. That's a very nice pickup if you just want something to, run around with, enjoy and whatnot. I have to sit here and say LR300s have been getting a lot of love as of recent. Many people have taken notice that the new improved version is pretty good. Now, overall, across the board, not all the skins have been getting appreciation. But some of the standout ones, such as Redemption, for example, they've risen up in price ever so nice. Yes, get a quick look at that. Currently selling for just under $4. And you could see that ever so nice, interesting climb right there. Obviously, people started to find out that the improvements to the R300s was very significant. And, well, nice big step upwards. You will see a lot of other very notable LR300s going through the exact same... Sorry, I got the hiccups. Going through the exact same process. I want to talk more about LR300 skins in general a little bit later, because it doesn't fully relate to this skin in particular. Well, I mean, it is an LR300, but there is still a bit of a problem. Is the Bullseye collection a notable collection? I have to ask you sincerely, and I'm gonna answer that for you quickly right now. No, because well, look at the state of that. Clearly, people haven't been going so crazy for the likes of these skins. I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't really compare to the likes of, well, Redemption and Blackout and whatnot. So, all right, cool. I still feel like this would go below its restore price. There is a lot of LR300s that exist. And as I said, the ones that are doing very nicely at the moment are ones from notable collections. Bullseye is nice, but I don't think it still has enough love to really carry it. So, for what it is, by all means, it's a perfectly fine LR300, and I think many people will be appreciating it if they pick it up. But I think this is only going to do about 10,000 sales by Thursday. We'll see how it turns out by then, but again, wouldn't be surprised if it, goes below its restore price. That's also not abnormal, so we can't really use that to our advantage. Sorry to say. So, will the LR300 truly be the best assault rifle in the game from here and now? Well, feel free to comment below. Tell me your thoughts. Alright then. So, let's move over to the likes of the AK. The not so good assault rifle anymore. Anyway, Junkernaught AK47. Let's get a quick look at you, and I'm going to be brutally honest. I respect the design. Much more down-to-earth, grounded approach and whatnot. Not super colourful. I respect that fuff, but I would also have to acknowledge that not everybody's going to be appreciating a skin such as that. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up going through another combo of constant AK-47 skins being accepted from here and now. We had like 8 weeks in a row of an AK being accepted from what, like... Was it from here? Yeah, so from February all the way up to Apocalypse Nomad. 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah. Oh, it was 5. No, 9. 4. Yeah, whatever. Hedge, you're an idiot. Right, so by default, look at all the AKs, and what do you see? Many of them in the negative. What about the ones from last year? Pretty much the exact same thing, except, of course, the Kiss AR right there. And with this year so far, the Thunder Gold's doing very nicely at the moment. So, yeah, by default, I can't help but assume it's going to struggle. I can't help but assume it will go below its restore price, and I can't help but assume the barter price that I'm going to put down for it will be 60 cents to 80 cents. If it's not going to hold up very well, just turn it into metal and sell the metal. So, we'll see what potentially happens. It's not selling that much. I'm looking at that and expecting it's going to probably only do about 8,000 sales by Thursday. So, we'll see how that potentially turns out from there. It's not abnormal, so we have no time to our advantage there, but... yeah, I'm not very optimistic for it. Let's move on to the likes of the cardboard, hatchet and pickaxe. I've already made my case with the likes of this. Hatchets and pickaxe skins do not hold up very nicely by default. As you can see, so many of them go down half price very, very, very quickly. Alright? Now, some of them do stand out quite nicely. Some of them do get pumped. Yes. Look at this right now. This is currently being pumped. $9 at the moment. Is it actually worth that price? No. You can see its sales history as well. So, for some strange reason, it's not showing the prices. That's the Steam servers. Thanks very much, Steam. And it's not showing me anything. Thanks, Steam. I greatly appreciate this. If you're seeing problems like this, it's Steam. All right? Sorry to say. If you use a VPN, I do believe it alleviates the problem, but doesn't necessarily always fix it. Let's go back to this a little bit later, because it's not exactly, directly referencing these. But yeah, hatchets, pickaxes, you'll see the same behaviour in both of them. This also applies to stone pit tools. They just don't get appreciated that much. All right, Pixel Decay's doing a little bit better. That only sold for 99 cents. I have to point that out. That was a very rare case of a weapon/tool being sold at a much cheaper price compared to normal. Because by default, they sell for $2, don't they? Or $1.99. But that right there, with the hatchet, a good couple months back, sold for 99 cents each. But over to here, you can see so many of these just sitting at around $1 now, halved in price. Not very nice to see, is it? So, I can't help but assume cardboard's going to end up being the exact same thing. You might like it in terms of its design and whatnot, and I can respect that. Very, very unique, very creative. It looks cool, it looks goofy, and I think people will be liking that to a point. But will everybody appreciate it enough to keep the price up? I highly doubt it. But there's one thing I have to point out. They are not selling that much. I'm looking at both of these and I'm thinking they're probably only going to do about 6,000 to 7,000 subscribers by next Thursday, and that's pretty low. So this is why I go back over to here. Do you see this hatchet right here? Blacksmith's hatchet. Let's just quickly remind ourselves, how much did that sell? Because that came out like 2 years ago, didn't it? It's also a glow-in-the-dark hatchet, which of course came out with the likes of a pickaxe. Well, that did 19,000 sales, and yet still gets manipulated. I will sit here and say, I've seen many tools randomly just getting bought out and then of course magically rising up in price. Are they worth those prices? No. So let's just quickly show you this. Here's the blacksmith hatchet, $9 over here. Buy orders pushing up to $9 over here, but because I can use a certain tool such as Steam Inventory Helper to see more buy orders, if I just click show more orders, what do you see? It dramatically drops off. This is not actually worth this price. Manipulators bought out the majority of the stock, and well, as you can see, they've made it appear to be a whole lot more valuable than what it actually is. Now if I could get the price history to show up, I could easily show you that it's just randomly spiked in price very recently. Here you go. Do you see how it's trending up very nicely this past month? What if I showed you the lifetime sales? Much different story. Do you see that? Yeah. And that's something that could happen to cardboard tools some point in the future. Is it a reliable thing to consider? Not really, I'm very sorry to say, but don't be surprised if randomly 1 year later they end up going stupidly high in price, and it might only be one of them. That happens a lot as well. In fact, if I go to the front page of the Steam market right now, yeah, you got Gold Digger hatchet, a pickaxe, I'm sorry to say, that's the Gold Digger pickaxe. And yeah, that very randomly went up in price. So $10 here, $10 here. But if I show more orders, what do you see? It dramatically drops off. And if I go look at its sales history, what do you see? A very random pickaxe from a long time ago that nobody cared about, suddenly rising up in price around March time. Yes, it's manipulation. Be prepared for such things. Cool. So, be prepared for that if that happens. But even then, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to around $1 at some point. So, yeah, that's going to very much just be a buy order. So, across the board, these skins, yeah, it's not going to be super crazy in terms of making tons and tons and tons of profit, but a smart buy order can always lead to a reasonable success with making some profits and whatnot. Right then, so, yeah, I said 6,000 to 7,000 sales potentially. All right, so with the likes of all of this, don't forget, you can always keep an eye on the likes of I've got this muddled up. Keep an eye on the workshop. You can always look at the likes of Micro522 to be prepared for all the new skins that are coming in. You can also see the likes of upvotes to downvotes and whatnot. Get a good idea of what potentially might get accepted. Although I will sit here and say Porcelain Rug had so much support behind it and still wasn't accepted. Very randomly, the double door was accepted. But hey, I should also point out, if we go to the accepted skins spot right there, you'll see for yourself that Shadowborn Sheepman double door did have a lot of support behind it. 22,000 upvotes. My word. Yes. So, let's just quickly make a comparison to the previous weeks. Last week's skins, we were pretty optimistic for them. Well, the sap's doing alright. The armoured door's doing very nicely, but as I said, give it another week or two, then look at it, because I can't help but assume it will go down eventually. Hoodie and pants doing very nicely. I did point this out. The hoodie and pants sold quite a fair bit less compared to the tier 3. Oh, I'm getting mixed answers here. What's going on? Why is it positive there and negative here? Oh, never mind. Anyway, this did like 3,000 sales less compared to these two. If we do see tier 2 on the horizon, and I'm fully expecting it, trust me when I sit there and say that, yeah, you could very likely end up seeing the likes of the hoodie and pants potentially becoming the most expensive pieces out of all of it, if the tier 2 sells more than this as well. Remember, when you have a full set, all the core pieces, you tend to see the skins that sold the least ending up becoming the most expensive. Because if people want a full set of them, there's only so many of the skins that sold the least. So, therefore, they rise up in price easier. Keep an eye on the likes of that. Chameleon set. Let's see if we see some more weapons on the horizon, but more specifically, I can't help but assume we'll be seeing the likes of Tier 2 potentially on the horizon. Right, so we also have the likes of Junkernaught MP5 down there, down 29%. Cell Tier 2 has started a dip down. The kilt's still doing okay. That's okay. We can live with that. Let's go over to the likes of 2 weeks back. How are we looking over here? Gold Chains Poncho, we already had a look at that. Still managing to hold on, but with the big amounts of quantity starting to build up on it, looks like it could dip down in price pretty soonish. High quality metal-based box, we already discussed that. Hardly any quantity on the Steam market. Looks like it could hold, and with more potential base boxes being produced, can't help but assume it's going to be alright. I'm more optimistic with the likes of those now. Norseman Tier 3, we saw both the hoodie and pants and the Tier 2 being produced somewhat recently. Still no acceptances yet. Can't sit there and say we're not going to be seeing them anytime soon. Stay optimistic. We'll see what happens next with the likes of that. Sheepman doors, already had a bit of a discussion over that. Both of these are starting to dip. You've only dipped down by a little bit. That could just easily be one listing. So if that sold for $2.49, I will sit here and say that we've got 1, 2, 3... Okay, we've got about 10 listings. 10 plus listings below $2.49. It does kind of really drop off from like $3 to there, but hey, we'll see. Maybe another Tomb of the Octopus deplorable skin is accepted in the near future. And yeah, Crabbo, you are not looking very good at this moment, are you? No. There were a pair of leather gloves being produced very recently, but... And, of course, the black Diamond LR300 looking ever so elegant right there. We will be discussing LR300s in a second. Over to here, you can see too many Octopus Garage doors also starting to go down in price. Shadowborn large box doing A-OK. Cyber Collection is now starting to go down in price. It had its moment, but suddenly, evidently, people don't seem to care enough about it, so... Far too many metallic sets. I kept saying that. Well, we'll see what potentially happens over the course of the summer. As we look over to here, Blocky Collection isn't looking super great at the moment. We're starting to see these go down in price. Never got the rug, did we? Never got the rug. But hey, maybe we'll still see some more deplorable skins being produced in the near future. We shall see, we shall see. Apocalypse Nomad M39. You're not holding up very nicely, are you? All the Apocalypse Nomad skins, unfortunately, are starting to suffer. They have those very interesting aim sights, but evidently, I guess that wasn't enough to hold it up. The Imperial Pump Shotgun has started to dip down in price. Not super nice, is it? However, if I quickly look at the work on the Steam market, how many listings does it actually have? Come on, Steam market, stop being weird. Just show yourself. Right, only 30 listings. That could easily turn around, potentially in the future. And I will point out, for a $1.99 skin, there's only 3 listings below that price. That could easily change. Alright, no worries about that. Find a Gold Custom SMG did dip down in price a fair bit. It's not looking very pretty there, but as you know, across the board with all the Thunder Gold skins, well, it has dipped down a little bit here for the boots and the gloves, but the Tier 2 still holding up very strong. The AK and the SAR looking pretty okay, and that face mask is still $5. King Kali Furnace down in price. That's unfortunate. And the bow, the snakebite hunting bow, that's down in half price. Not surprised. Right then, so let's put to focus the LR300s now. Gentlemen, I released a video earlier today discussing LR300s. Now, I quite literally started talking about them when the update came out, because I saw the choice of words they put out, and they quite specifically say they intend for the LR300 to be the best assault rifle in the game now. I have a little thing to show off to you. It's my Saturday 48-hour analysis from 2 weeks ago. I was sitting there talking about the Black Diamond LR300. Now, by default, I wasn't very optimistic for it. Back then, just 2 weeks back, people did not care for LR300s. The gun demand was low. Therefore, where's the justification in owning skins? Therefore, all the skins were down in price pretty badly. But I just want to quickly showcase to you that when we're talking about the Black Diamond LR300 at $4, I just sat there and said, you could just go ahead and get a Blackout LR300. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to turn that to dollars right there. That Blackout LR300, it had 88 listings. Its highest listing, its lowest listing, sorry, was $1.95, and its highest buy order was only $1.69. Do you remember earlier when I sat there and said only notable skin collections of LR300s are doing all right? What do you reckon the Blackout LR300 is currently at right now? So, get a quick look at that. $1.95 the lowest listing. The highest buy order was $1.69. 2,278 requests. I don't want to say it that way. It sounded a bit weird. Let's go look at that Blackout LR300 that came out just... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Don't tell me that's the actual price. Okay. Sorry about this. You can probably see it right there. I meant to click it to go look at the Steam market. It's gone up to $5 now. It's gone up to $5, and it's had an extra, 300 buy orders, with the buy orders now pushing up to about $3.50. There you go. So in 2 weeks, that has basically more than doubled in price. Yeah, so the video I'm referencing, over to here, we have the likes of the LR300 buffs video. I talk about it when it literally comes out with the update, and then 5 hours later I'm on my stream discussing things with my chat, and we're optimistic. We think, yeah, LR300 is going to be working out quite nicely as we enter the summertime. But I do specifically say, initially, it's only going to be skins from notable collections. Of course, we also mentioned the likes of the Daemon strike. That's the only LR300 which has a glow-in-the-dark aim sight. And that's a little bit special that people do appreciate. That is now selling for about $40. Yeah. Now, that didn't have this had hardly any quantity anyway. I should point that out. So maybe this only had 5 sales and suddenly it's at $40. All right, but the barter's now pushing up to $30. So, yeah, that's had a nice turnaround as well. Because a good, couple weeks back, that was selling for about half the price. Look at that climb! Look at that climb! Okay, so What's your opinions now of the brand new LR300? Are you satisfied with the changes? Are you pleased with the results? Because based on what I'm seeing here, it's looking like a lot of people are very pleased. Now, again, you should also consider this. Maybe the people that are buying these are just the investors. They probably saw my video today and thought, I'm going to make some moves. But the funny thing is now, it is much more affordable to just go buy the Black Diamond LR300 instead now. The 2 weeks changed and here we are. But I'm not joking. If you want something that's exactly like the Blackout LR300, just go get the Black Diamond one now, because it is $1 cheaper. That is actually quite funny how that turned around. We went from 88 quantity down to 20, and we've gone and more than doubled in price. So, yes, from what you can see here at first glance, you're correct to point out that, yeah, the vast majority of these LR300s are still pretty down bad. But give it some time. We'll approach the summertime. How many players have we got currently playing Rust? So, Rust player count right now. I'm still expecting better than what we have here. We peaked at 153,000 today. It is Saturday, of course. I still can't... Oh, go away, I don't care about your privacy. I still would not be surprised if we do see the likes of summertime being even better. I have made quite a fuss fairly recently. You go watch my Rust rotation video, where I'm having a bit of a theory that we're going to be having a very interesting potential Twitch event taking place with big streamers, not big Rust streamers. I know, but big streamers. We've seen skins produced for MP Lowell, Iron Mouse, and QT Cinderella. Something's cooking, and it might potentially be some sort of OTV event. Yeah, offline TV, but it doesn't look like any of the actual OTV people currently there. But you know what I mean. The type of events we had back in early 2021. Now you kind of get the idea. It'll probably be more roleplay and casual and whatnot. But of course the Twitch drops look very cool and people will be interested, curious, wanting to get them, and then they'll probably want to hop in the game and look at them. And, you know, with the June 4th swipe, potentially we'll have some very, very interesting new content being produced, which you can go look for right now. If I just go to Rust Commits on the likes of the Google, and here we are. Now, by default, you want to go make sure that you're not on Face Punch Commits. Rust Reboot specifically. If you go on Face Punch Commits, you'll also see sandbox stuff. So if you just hop out of here and click Rust Reboot, you will only see the Rust content. And right now, there's just some fixes and whatnot, but on the horizon, we're seeing the likes of a brand new Blunderbuster. There it is, right there. Yeah, it's like a flintlock. I believe it's like supposed to be a better Eoka, but not so good compared to the other shotguns. It's like a shotgun. It's been treated... They referenced it as a shotgun, so we'll see if that's actually going to be the case. And, of course, I'm sure many of you are well aware of the likes of the SKS. It honestly looks like the SKS is going to be its very own weapon now. Not a skin, its very own weapon, which is totally fine. But does that potentially mean the SAR might get nerfed with the SKS taking its place? Ooh. And that potentially might lead to SAPs going up in price and up in demand and whatnot, because of course that means they'll be used more when people have their semi-automatic bodies. Ooh, there's a butterfly effect there with many interesting changes that could happen. But you can only really figure those things out if you keep an eye on the commits and are aware of all the new potential content that'll be coming out fairly soon. Now, Radtown Redux, that very likely could be prepared for the likes of June. I'm pretty sure Mr. Shadowfraps has already produced a video showcasing the very early look of them. And of course, Travelling Vendor seems to be worked on quite heavily at the moment. Please be aware, they have another month to get all of this prepared. Because, of course, June 4th swipe is what, it's like June 6th? Cool, it's quite a long ways away. So, I'm expecting... Wait, LR300? Small books? Oh, no, I think that's more referenced to our weekly skins, so don't be shocked by that. But I will just point this out. We are getting a chippy box, apparently. Chippy box, look at that. That was referenced. That very likely might be a Twitch drop as well. So you wouldn't have known that if you didn't, if you kept up to date with all of this. I should also point out we're getting a tiger, apparently. We're getting a tiger. Hey, I mean, I'm not going to say no, but could that potentially imply we might have some sort of jungle biome being worked on? Oh, monkeys. All right. Well, I know, the tiger might eat them. Oh, no. All right, well, anyway. Things are looking very interesting for the future. Keep an eye on the likes of this. And hey, if Redemption's now starting to get bought out, what other collection of skins might be worth investing into? I did take a look at the likes of the Black Gold LR300, and I did sit here and say this sold quite a lot. It's got It's part of an interesting collection and whatnot. That's still the same. That is still the same at 165. But yeah, even the likes of this skin has started to improve ever so nicely. So give it a good few more weeks. Maybe we'll see a lot more green. Maybe people will truly start to appreciate the banana LR300. How could you say no to the bright yellow? Oh, yes. I'm looking at the SEMM page. Hedge, why'd you keep doing that? Hedge, why did you buy so many of them? Yeah, I bought a lot of LR300s as time has gone on, but I bought them with lowball buy orders, so don't be surprised by that. But hey, we'll see how this all turns out from here and now. Right, so that's everything. Real quickly, what's that front page looking like? Is it still the same? That's changed. Easter Farm door is still $25! Really? Right, I swear down now, the guy that has been pumping this for well over a month now must have spent over $30,000. Why? Why? You've got to sit there and say, oh, because he's trying to make it look more valuable than what it actually is. Why would he spend $30,000 doing that? I don't know how he's cashing out. I do not know, but it's still going on. I am just flabbergasted. Oh well, it's the madness of the Rust Steam market. Well, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all had a lovely time watching the video, watching a man ramble about pixels, but that's what you normally expect on a Saturday, or rather a Sunday when it gets uploaded. Well, anyway, catch you later, saying goodbye, and of course, don't forget, this Wednesday, I will of course be doing my my abnormal bilders, so if you want to sit back and relax as I go through all the details in regards to the skins that we just discussed, but really getting a good idea of what prices we might want to offer for all of them before we actually go do the abnormal barders, please consider, you know, watching me on, look in the description for my Twitch link and say hello on the streams and whatnot. You can see it all live, and if you want to get a good idea of how we do it all, please consider watching this video over here. And if you want to keep an eye out, please consider watching my Rust Workshop skin checks. The next video will probably appear over the course of the next couple of days. And don't forget, with all the collection continuations that come out, I'll make sure I add chapters to the video so that you can just skip ahead if you want to. Cool. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Catch you later, and best of luck with your investments.